Hey everyone, I'm Ian McCarthy of Lifting for Life, bringing you another training vlog, and I first want to thank all of you who have been watching these vlogs, liking them, commenting on them so far. I'm really pleased with how this project of the vlogs as a whole has panned out so far, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of them moving forward. Now, in reviewing this video, it struck me that the first 3 minutes of it is almost entirely calf training. And I actually had the thought to scrap some of this footage, but out of principle I wanted to include all of the working sets I did. So I'm going to do two things with this. First, I'm going to explain why I started a workout with 4 sets of 12 of standing calf raises. Then I'm going to talk about my freaky bulking diet. So, the calf raises. To put it very simply, principle of specificity, or excuse me, it's the prioritization principle, not specificity. I train my calves 3 days a week at the moment. Really 4, because Sunday, the day I'm supposed to take off, I don't. But I have 3 official days where I train my calves as I want to improve them. In my first training vlog, if you go back and watch it, I just thought my calves looked small, so I want them to be bigger. Now, 2 of those days, I do calves closer to the end of my leg workouts. I was going to say at the end, but I've actually bumped them forward in wanting to prioritize them even during those workouts. But if you've already done squats, RDLs, and yes, this angle is horrendous, I apologize for that. If you've already done squats, RDLs, hack squats, leg curls, which is what I do in my first workout is actually squats, deadlifts, hacks, leg curls, then calves. Later in the week, it's RDLs in place of conventional deadlifts. If you've already done that, then the kind of focus that you're going to be able to put into your calf training is going to be diminished. It's going to be more than if you do them right at the very end, which is what a lot of people do, either right at the end or they don't do them at all. But in putting my calf training at the beginning of this workout, the second of the 3 lower body workouts I do each week, I'm able to really focus on them. And I think that gives me an advantage in terms of improving my calf development. And here's another fantastic angle. So that's something to consider if you really want to improve your calves. This goes for other body parts as well. Now, with something like, let's use quads as the example. Most people will do squats at the beginning of a leg session anyway. So there's less of a change to make there. Maybe, let's say someone, and they would be very much the aberration here, but let's say someone has gigantic glutes and hamstrings and calves, and somehow they have disproportionately developed quads. It might be to their advantage for them to do, first of all, a lot more quad work overall relative to hamstrings, glutes, calves work, but also to push that work to the front end of their leg workout. So a leg workout for them might actually be squat, leg press, knee extension, almost exclusively quad work, and then a moderate amount of posterior chain work around that. But again, muscles like the quads, muscles like the pecs tend to be prioritized anyway. But let's say your lats are lagging and you have a big chest, and then probably wouldn't make the most sense to do flat barbell pressing as the first thing that you do in an upper body workout. So you can apply that in different ways depending on the body part to ensure that you're prioritizing properly in line with what it is you're trying to accomplish. Now doing hip thrusts. I forgot the name of this exercise for a moment. But let me actually talk a little bit about this workout, and then perhaps I'll come back to the bulking point. Because my fear was that I wasn't going to have enough to talk about, but it turns out that I have had plenty. So this workout is my lower B workout, and I've talked a lot in my videos recently and on Instagram about managing fatigue, the issues I've had with that. So what I'm doing with my current program is I have 6 workouts a week, like the official workouts, and then kind of the little pump weak point thing I do at the end. But something I've really benefited from and I've continued to pursue aggressively is I make the middle 2 workouts of the week, so lower B and upper B, the easiest. And that might be a little misleading. What I really mean is I do think they are actually the easiest, but in terms of more tangible differences, my exercise selection is different. So on these days, I don't do the squats, I don't do the deadlifts, I don't do the incline bench, I don't do the pull-ups, I don't do the heavy dumbbell rows. I say heavy, but I'm not going to be doing dumbbell rows with 70 or 80 pound dumbbells. I might do a cable pullover to address shoulder extension in those sessions. Similarly, I've recently instituted a pretty hard rule of not allowing myself to go below 10 reps ever during these workouts, just to shy away from that disproportionately fatiguing work about which I've spoken a lot. And so basically what I do with these sessions is I get in a comparable amount of volume in terms of number of working sets per body part, but they are higher rep sets with different exercises, and I push myself to be a little more cognizant of holding back slightly. And it's good that I'm saying this while you're seeing me here doing leg press with grotesque faces. I considered doing a third set of leg press, and I decided against it because I knew, okay, this is my lower B session. I do want to stimulate, absolutely, I want this to be an effective session, one which actually elevates muscle protein synthesis and will contribute to the overall efficacy of my program. But I also want to be able to recover from the previous 2 sessions and then go into the tail end of the week recovered. So I didn't do that third set of leg press, which I could have done. I'm physically able to do it. And what's interesting is when I then went to do knee extensions, which you'll see in just a moment, I did 2 sets of 15 of those, and my quads were adequately stimulated. So what I'm realizing in talking to you about this is that it's terrible. This is the face I make at all times in life. What I'm realizing in talking to you about this is that my own judgment of my capacity and that which is adequate, I know it's going to explode, that which is adequate stimulation is improving with time. Okay, so I'm not sure if I actually reached a natural conclusion on that topic, but I have severe ADD and I don't really remember where I was going with it. So I'll talk to you now about my diet. For those of you who are perhaps unaware or you've heard this already, I've been bulking this is now the 9th week. So prior to that, I cut for 9 weeks. And the bulk has been going really well. Interestingly, for the first 4 weeks, I actually lost weight every week. When I say lost weight, I mean I did actually lose weight, but it was something like 0.3 pounds a week. And I repeatedly upped my macros in that period. Excuse me. Whooping cough. I repeatedly upped my macros in that period. And finally what I did was I deliberately instituted multiple cheat meals. I was able to actually gain a little bit of weight. Then I pulled back on those, kept pushing my controlled macros up. And at this point I'm eating, if I recall correctly, 4,050 calories per day on days during which or on which I track, which is almost every day. And I'm weighing about 175, 176. And what's really interesting, and I would be curious to get your feedback on this, because obviously as one person, I only have the direct personal experience of one person, but my weight gain has really not been linear. I was losing weight and then kind of suddenly gained 2-3 pounds, and then that happened again this week, going into this week, because I did actually have a big cheat meal Sunday, and then the weight the weight will come on suddenly and then stick, and then seemingly nothing happens, and then that happens again. So I'm not complaining about it. I don't perceive it as a big issue, given overall the bulk is going really well, but it's interesting to see that it's happening in that way as opposed to simply this week I gained 0.4 pounds. The week prior it was 0.5 pounds, and then another week goes by and it's 0.45, etc. And I think in wanting to turn this discussion into one which is, I often ram my hand and whatnot into this table while recording things. I need a new table. But in wanting to turn this discussion into something actionable for you, my suggestion would be not to panic if either weight gain or weight loss does that. What you want to look at is longer term changes. So sometimes you'll see no change in weight and then suddenly a significant drop in weight if that's your objective. And there are certainly instances in which you've committed to being quite aggressive, it's appropriate to be quite aggressive, and you want to make changes continuously in response to what's happening, but sometimes it's appropriate to wait, see how things pan out, and not making a change will actually lead to what you're looking for. You just need to wait a little bit longer. Doing some adductions, abductions here. I'm trying to think what else I might be able to speak to. So again, this is the second leg session of my training week, and then, so the first lower body session and the first upper body session of my training week are probably the most difficult sessions. Again, using those more difficult exercises, also favoring lower reps, and I say that recognizing that I do minimal heavy training at this point, but a lot of sets of 6, a lot of sets of 8, and then this workout is a lot of 10, 12, 15, 20, and then the 2 workouts at the tail end of the week are somewhere in between, and there's definitely some overlap. It's not like this workout is exclusively 4 to 8, this workout is exclusively 15 to 20, this workout is exclusively 10 to 12, so again, there's overlap, but with the first workouts of the week, I do very little work above, say, 10 reps. This workout is all 10 to 20, and then later on in the week it'll be a lot of 10 to 12. It'll be tighter in those later sessions. So cable crunches here, and something I've changed on these recently that I've really noticed a difference from is the posterior pelvic tilt. I even put it in here as one of the targeted joint actions because the abs contribute to that, and in posteriorly tilting your pelvis and locking it in that position throughout the exercise, you are shortening your abs from the hip, and it makes the movement so difficult. Difficult isn't really the word. Like, the contraction in your abs is so strong that I almost have the thought that, like, if it were any stronger, my sense would be I shouldn't be doing this because it might be dangerous because it's causing my abs to contract so forcefully. So that's always a good sign. As I sometimes tell people at the gym, if you break a bone and then it heals, it's stronger. So that should be the objective. Did 4 sets of 15 here. So I think for quads I did 4 working sets. Hamstrings, now that I think about it, it was just the 2 because I did hip thrusts instead of another hip hinge movement which would hit the hamstrings effectively. So in hindsight, and considering what I'm going to do moving forward, I might want to actually add some additional hamstrings work to this session. Hyperextensions would probably be the way to go. This is my last set, so I should say my goodbyes. Thank you once again, everyone, for watching. It seems that the invitation to hit the like button in the last video was effective, so like, click, 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 click. Only if you feel I earned it. If not, please click the dislike button and tell me what I can improve. I appreciate it. Bye.